Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Lich.
Radiant team pick.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Summer presentation of the Starladder I-League Americas number 13. We've got a match between none other than Root Gaming and Digital Chaos here. It's going to be a best-of-3 series between the two teams here, and it is a bit of a rematch or grudge match, what have you. The past 6 games that Root has played have in fact been against Digital Chaos. Over the past 3 days, they've gone 2 matches against them. They won one of the matches 2-1, and they got 0-3'd in a best-of-5 very, very recently, just 1 day ago. So, looking forward to seeing who will prevail in this kind of topsy-turvy matchup. I think DC are coming in strong, but really could be anybody's game. So looking forward to it. Thanks once again for tuning in, and hopefully you guys enjoy. I'm myself and Blaze, and let's get into the draft. We have the opener of Shadow Fiend and Queen of Pain in the first banning phase for Digital Chaos. Along with that, the Doom and the Gyrocopter taken out by Root, just showing how this metagame has really evolved. In the last 3 games they faced a Digital Chaos. When they got 3-0'd, Gyrocopter was picked every single time, and they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to face TC's Gyro, so they're just going to ban it out, and they're just going to go and see what they can do apart from that. Obviously, they revealed replays, they look things over, seeing what they need to shape up to try to overpower this contender for one of the top 3 in NA slots. So, right now, early draft, we see the Lich and the Starladder coming out for Digital Chaos, and for Root Gaming, they do have the Wyvern and the Darkseer. So that's kind of a classic duo. It's been working in a number of patches here, but essentially, obviously, people look at the Vacuum and the Ultimate, and that's really quite strong. Everything about Winter Wyvern has a good AoE factor, so Vacuum's great. But I honestly look at the laning, and how Darkseer really continuously pressure out on the offlane through Ion Shell, Wyvern, and harasses through the Arctic Burn. These guys are very good standalone heroes that just happen to work really well together as well. We're going to be seeing Lich and Starladder from DC, so it looks to me like they really want to win their lanes. Wherever the Lich is going to be supporting, he's going to be sacrificing creeps, getting experience, and taking away from his opponent. And that could really help the Starladder get an earlier Blink Dagger, or it could help a more difficult mid lane matchup work out in their favor. CM's going to be the pick here for Root, though. I've seen a couple times they've run the CM along with the Winter Wyvern. Evil Geniuses has done this a few times as well. And it does tend to be a little greedy, but if you can make the lanes work out, it can be still very powerful. The real question is, how does CM match up against the Starladder? Because I feel like if Starladder is able to quickly close his distance, rush, he can kill CM in about 3 seconds flat. However, if you have your Frostbite available, you might be able to get some distance and get some allied support, and of course the Cold Embrace can buy you some time as well. So I'm interested to see how deep Bulba goes on the Starladder. Speaking of which, Bulba's Starladder is like one of the most common pickups you're going to see from Digital Chaos. It's really as a rightful first pick because he just does so much work on this hero. It's absolutely absurd. We've just seen it time again. He's been able to get some amazing crushes off. He's always able to at least break even in his lane in terms of what you'd expect from an offlaner, and just kind of move forward from there. So it's just really impressive to see him, and in that capacity, in the last month, they have picked it 10 times, and they have a 60% win rate with the Starladder, most of the time getting it in the first pick. It synergizes with the heroes they want, and it should be creating a lot of difficulty for Root unless they get off their feet early. Bane in an Undying ban, as well as the Huskar in the Visage. Might imply that we want to go for a magical mid, essentially. Like, we used to see the Lina and the Leshrac very commonly in that role, but, I mean, there's a lot of heroes that can fit the bill here. The Visage is actually just straight up a ban against Aoi. Aoi 2000's Visage is well renowned, is very well practiced, and is devastating when he gets a good start. So they just want to take that out of the equation entirely, and I cannot blame them. The Undying and the Bane, however, are much more about the style that Root would be bringing. If they got the Undying or the Bane instead of the Crystal Maiden, then maybe they would have been deathballing harder or bringing out more direct pressure, at least creating more difficult Starladder to be involved in the laning phase. Said they get to see him, and we'll see what they can accomplish with that.
5 seconds
So
remaining.
we've got this guy Wrath Mage here for phase 2. Digital Chaos thought about this one for a long time. I'm curious if I want to go for like a Legion Commander with this. When I think Skywrath Mage, one of the heroes that I really look to is that Legion Commander. It just has so much potential value to combo up the ultimates. You used to see Faceless Void Skywrath. Now I look at it as the Legion Skywrath. But you've also got a good counter to the Darkseer, Concussive, and Silence. He's not going to surge away. So if you get like a Juggernaut spin, it could work out pretty well too. And Juggernaut is very good against Crystal Maiden, the fact that he just doesn't care about her disables. He'll spin through them, he'll Omni-Slash through them, no problem at all, and he can be very effective in that capacity. So Juggernaut and Legion Commander are probably the two that I look at here.
Reserve time.
Then Razor's going to be up for a Root here, so about Razor, of course, is that he works well in a negative armor draft, so just with the Slaughter alone, his Eye of the Storm and right clicks are doing already a lot more natural damage. So it's almost a denial pick in some capacities that Root pick it up here instead of giving it to TC, who kind of built some reputation on the hero a couple years back. TI3, that was a hell of a tournament. There was a lot of Razor involved. But beyond that, DC gonna pick up the Tiny here. No Wisp required, it seems. They're just gonna be going in. I'm curious how they're going to lane it, though, is the real question. It seems like Skywrath and Lich are still their supports. And the reason I want to make that clarification is because right now, Tiny and Starladder actually have a good dual lane possibility. You toss the Starladder onto a target, he Slithering crushes, and then you have the Tiny Avalanche right after the fact. It's kind of a classic pub stomp duo, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that until the mid game when they actually start fighting together. I don't think they're playing together. I think it's just going to be TC in the safe lane, farming it up. Starladder, Lich, dual off lane, Skywrath, help top. And Tiny's natural attack damage is actually really good against Darkseer here, in the sense that he can kill the Ion Shield creep very easily. Get a Quelling Blade on the Tiny, it seems like overkill, but you're like two-shot a creep, and you can essentially make it so the Ion Shell isn't as much of a factor. Along with having a lot of raw HP, I can see a lot of value in that pick. Even without the Wisp mobility, you still have a hell of a hero on your hands.
Radiant team pick.
Along with that, Tiny has one really great aspect of his late game presence, is that you can't really run melee carries against him very effectively. Crag Exterior makes it so that they have to have a BKB active to reliably hit him, and so they don't have to be really worried about your kind of standard safe lane cores, like the Slark in this case would be natural one you'd look to as far as like a late game carry that can work well with the lineup that Root are bringing. But unless he's got a BKB on, he's just too vulnerable. He gets a self-stun too often. Ban out one of the few melee cores that don't right-click very often. That's going to be the Spectre. Taking her out of the picture means that Root Gaming are going to have to focus on something that actually hits, actually does some good physical damage here. So I'm not going to be the Clinks either, as Root did ban that out. To be maybe a Tiny mid in this case. It seems just based on Root ban and the fact that I'm sure they know Digital Chaos draft better than me, I would have to say that the Clinks ban implies that DC are still looking for their TC hero, and that might mean the Tiny is mid with the Lich instead. And that's perfectly fine. That definitely creates a lot of potential, and even against the Razor, I think Tiny can still get a lot of value out of the lane. Then of course you get to run the bottle, you get to sustain yourself with the runes. There's a lot you can bring to the table there. Still some good flexibility. You got your mid or your safe lane Tiny, you've got your mid or your off lane Lich. And now we got Root picking up their final hero here. Winter Wyvern Darkseer, that's their team fight. Razor's their push. CM's kind of their security. She's the one who is farming up quickly in the jungle. She's able to build everybody up with the aura, and that allows Root to be a little bit greedier in terms of their spell usage. They could get a spell spammer here and really take advantage of that arcane aura, the extra mana you get out of it. Do they want to go negative armor? I'm not so sure. They definitely have that option. Run like a mid TA and a safe lane Razor.
10 seconds remaining.
I think they do need more damage though. A lot of front-loaded burst damage do them well because you really want to kill somebody during the Wyvern ultimate. You can't rely on Tiny to KO his own teammate. So Juggernaut, that's a great burst of physical damage. Just jumping forward there with the Omni Slash, you're able to take somebody down quickly, and it's gonna force Skywrath Mage in particular to buy a Ghost Scepter very early on. You have pretty much two options as a Skywrath against a Juggernaut. Either have the best reflexes of your life and always catch him with a silence before he's able to get the Omni Slash off, which is easier now that the range got nerfed, patches back, or you buy a Ghost Scepter as quickly as possible. The only alternative I've seen to that is actually a very rare item purchase in guard. You'll never see it on a ranged hero, you'll never see it on Skywrath, except for like a few, like half a dozen games I think it's been picked up, and that's just to naturally tank the hero up. One of Juggernaut's more natural counters, though, the Anti-Mage can blink out of that Omni Slash, but not when he's frostbitten. So there is some risk in what Digital Chaos are doing here, picking up the TC Anti-Mage response to this CM Juggernaut. It could be a little bit dangerous. So that's going to be the final lineups here. We're going to have, it looks like a mid-Tiny in the hands of Yawar, supported most likely by the Lich, so that the Skywrath can focus on supporting TC in the safe lane. That'll leave Bubba solo completely as the Starladder, and there is definitely a chance for him to be picked off. I want to see Digital Chaos start getting some good wards out in the Radiant Pull area. Even if they don't block the pulls, you need vision for the Starladder for him to move forward and contest the lane, because if you don't know when the Crystal Maiden is rotating from her jungle to the lane, Bubba's just going to end up feeding, and that's just gonna so switch this up here. America, good to go. And alright, we're good to go. So we've got a Wraith Band starting us off here for the Juggernaut. At least he's gonna be picking up that Slipper of Agility in the side shot. But you look at this early TP from Aoi, and this is the kind of ward play I'm looking for. At least a block, or perhaps some good intel. Sometimes you're going to see him move through this path, so I'd like to maybe see a more northern ward. This is nice because it doubles up on the block. Especially, this is the two corners of the pull camp spawn. Obviously, you have the option of putting it south or north. But in this case here, it's just essentially making it so that it's unlikely for them to get the double sentry unless they've already run the gauntlet of warding metagame through their 6 games and figuring out how Aoi likes to block his pulls. This doubles up nicely, and we have a Knobs here on the lane as well. It looks like it might be a level 1 rune fight. I think I favored DC in this. The only difference factor is Derp's Winter Wyvern. That Arctic Burn actually does a hell of a lot in a level 1 clash. You hit like 3 or 4 heroes with it, and you're taking away their HP dramatically. But softening them up won't actually do first blood, and that's what we're going to be seeing pursued here. First, Yawar baits him forward a little bit. Gonna have that avalanche available. Tosses him back over to his allies, but the Darkseer is very tanky and the Tiny is not. Tiny not only fails to acquire the bounty rune, but he actually feeds first blood to 747. A misplay from Yawar, I would say. I mean, the toss back there. I've seen some cute plays where like a hero like Anti-Mage would link on a cliff, and then you toss him to that guy, but that's not what happened, and yeah, I'm kind of astonished that he chose. I mean, obviously he didn't choose his target. Suan was just the closest one available, but it wasn't what he wanted. And these lanes have broken down to something a little bit different. They've actually swapped Slider to the safe lane position. He can skill level 1 sprint and just avoid the static link, it's like. Then, of course, Tiny's gonna be on mid. But that Lich is actually tri-laning bottom with TC. Oh no, they're rotating Aoi. Okay. So, TC and Buryu on the bottom lane for now, opposing the Juggernaut. And now it will TP up to help out Bulba. So they are going to try to focus on the 2-1-2 here. And he gets back in time to get the stack out, which is nice. So right now, dual lanes up top here, Derp and Will Easy. Good potential to actually get a kill on the Skywrath if he mispositions, but we'll see. Owie. For right now, an Observer Ward just right smack dab in the middle of it. That can get a little awkward very quickly. We'll go still get the pull off, and despite the slowing effects, it's going to connect nicely. Down bottom, we do see some damage coming into 747. Mana burned as well. He's going to have to Blink Fury just to keep mana in play here as Anti-Mage just breaks it over and over again. No amount of Arcane Aura is going to make up for that loss. He's probably going to only get one more spin this laning phase. Oh, whoa. Crystal Maiden pretty far forward, too. They can't fight right now. They just gave Juggernaut a clarity. And DC's like, okay, come at me. And takes the last bit of mana away. Oh, my. I actually feel like this dual lane has just fallen apart very quickly. They can't pull the camps. The Anti-Mage doesn't have control, or sorry, the Juggernaut doesn't have control of the Creequilibrium right now as Lich continues to sacrifice and pull it back towards the Dire side. And of course, now we don't have any mana on the Juggernaut, so he becomes significantly less threatening. This dual lane's working out really well, but we'll have to keep an eye on mid lane and see if there's maybe a possibility of a kill here. Got Derp. Maybe just looking for the Courier snipe with that Arctic Burn. You get some more damage potential on it, but little Courier is going to hang out in Fountain and not going to be delivering that bottle for a little bit longer here, just 7 gold. So, it just depends on the patience of Derp. He is invis for the moment, but that will be expiring shortly. In the meantime, AUI still holding on to his Sentry Ward here. I believe if he clicked the Wyvern, he should have seen that ward come out, but obviously you can't have your focus on everything all at once. Didn't see it until just recently. Puts down the Sentry, easy ops for him, and yeah, really doesn't miss any pulling action. Pretty much exactly where he wants it to be. This is intentional. This is going to be intentional suicide from Stanking, and he's going to buy out all these items to maybe go for a smoke play here. They know they need to really make up for lost time. Derp hasn't really gotten anything done. He's been stalking this Courier so long, and he's actually going to leave right when it comes out on the map here at 3:15. It gets upgraded to a flying Courier, and even being microed around to be Bottle Crow. So essentially that prevents Derp from having any real possibility of sniping this Courier, and it means he just wasted a hell of a lot of time. He will be going for a flank to gank now. It's going to be a single Ion Shell for the moment, now a double Ion Shell going in on to the Tiny. He's got one Avalanche, he's got to use it carefully. He uses it on the Darkseer, tosses the Darkseer back, and will be getting safety. That's a lot of damage received by both Derp and Chuan, and of course, Yawar gets away and survives. Bottom lane, we're actually going to see a 1-for-1 here, support for support. The cores immediately go for their support carrots, and we see the Crystal Maiden and the Lich fall very quickly. Top rune engagement here, we're going to see Siwon take a lot of damage. AUI gets the last hit, right clicks, and actually just walks up and grabs himself a bounty rune, which is not irrelevant, since Wyvern is actually still level 1 as a result of that. So yeah, level 1 Winter Wyvern, really not able to do much this game. You're not going to get your higher points in Splinter Blast anytime soon, and yeah, in general, you're really hurting. You're level 6 and going to be delayed significantly. Bulba maybe wants to make something happen here on Willy Easy. They actually get the splash onto Derp. They could just go for the kill here. Bulba finish him off. One more hit, but he can't go through the trees. Derp breaks the tree line, and Bulba doesn't pursue him. He instead goes for the crush on Will Easy, and Derp is hiding, trying to survive. I think they're going to see him, though. Dire Vision, they don't. So Will Easy going to salve, and Derp trying to buy himself some time, get the Arctic Burn back up, and get away. In the meantime, Anti-Mage does kill off Juggernaut, so that's just a good bit of Frost Blast, and of course the Mana Break right clicks. There's not much more to that. He just was a little bit too far forward, and Stanking couldn't help him out.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So, things are getting very hot and heavy all across the map very quickly. Derp does survive since they didn't see his little juke path there, but even still. We're going to see Juggernaut now having the advantage in the lane as he comes back with full mana. He's going to right onto Buryu with the spin, but can TC kill off Stanking in time? Yo, the TP comes out at the last moment, right before his attack animation lands. See, we need to reduce Anti-Mage's base attack time even further, it looks like. But yeah. It's going to be just the Lich kill with no trade this time around, and that doesn't begin to make up for the fact that Anti-Mage just killed Juggernaut, but at least he gets something back. Xer and Tiny both wearing each other down in mid lane, but it's actually going to be okay for both of them. They're just gonna bottle crow and go back to the fountain to recharge and see what they can do on the rest of the map. Here's what actually Ishkaveld goes when he's been in the mid lane. Like, what do you actually look at? You just look for the standard early arcanes? Nope, he's gonna go for the mech rush, and I have to say that I think that's gonna give them a lot more momentum when he finishes that item. He's just gonna be able to get so much push potential with his allies. But AUI is flanking really nicely here. If they can just silence the Surge, no, it's too late. The Surge will expire shortly though. The Concussive still sticking around in terms of slowing effects. Can maybe get the toss back here. It looks like he will. Yagami gets that base movement speed advantage thanks to the grow passive as he delivered that hard last hit. 747, losing a lot of life. Nothing for him here. And he knows the mana void's there, so he can't TP. Up top, Bulba gonna be caught inside the static link, but he'll just go ahead and surge away. Or what do you call it? Sprint, yeah. A lot more generic, but
Dire's
accurate.
top tower is under attack.
So, well, the top lane seems to be suppressing things quite heavily, and for Root, I just have to say that right now TC is just doing so much work in the bottom lane. He's topping last hits while killing off the Juggernaut. He's 3-0, and now that means he's 3750 on net worth. They need to rotate the Wyvern down, I think, and really just need to bring some real damage to bear against him. Frostbite, level 1, I think is going to be a big factor too. The Crystal Maiden, the standard build here is to go 2 points in Aura and then max your Crystal Nova, picking your ultimate up around 6. But that means your Frostbite level 1, your good disable against Anti-Mage that prevents him from escaping, is actually going to be very low rank for a very long time. War and Aoi converging to the top lane here with Bulba. They have a great flank here, and with Intreads they have a crush. But they'll just go and get the bottle sip so he can even add on the amp damage, and they're going to go right for him. A TP to force them back a little bit. There's the toss crush I was talking about in the draft, and the Chain Frost will bounce over Dirt for a guaranteed set of kills. Probably had those kills so cleanly that they didn't need the Chain Frost, but it's always good to out in that fashion. So now they're 7-3 in terms of kill lead. Darkseer just really needs to get that mech and start pulling his weight for the team, because so far it's been pretty ugly for Root. I mean, you just look at the top 4 of the net worth, and it's very clearly the solo Bulba who is winning out compared to the Razor. 747, I'm not sure if this is the right way to use spin. If they baited in a little bit, that could have been great. I think that was the intention. Okay, so essentially what you're looking at there is if 747 uses a spin, that's for Anti-Mage to go in and start burning some mana. But the second he does that, he'd get hit by the Frostbite and then the Omni Slash. The only reason he didn't do that is because this Observer Ward told him where the Crystal Maiden was. So very wise of the Lich Buryu to actually control that ward, and that he doesn't get solo killed by the Jugger, or duo killed, whatever, what have you. Farming the lane, building themselves up. I think the Tiny might want to go for a Blink Dagger here too, just to really turn on the aggression. But, you know, farming items are good too. You are against the Juggernaut, you're not going to find that many assassination opportunities against him. So, I could see it going both ways. Seeing mid-Tiny go for Shadow Blade, for Blink Dagger, and of course the Aghanim Step. Drums is actually not too bad here either. I would actually love to see Drum Endurance, but we're going to see actually you are in some trouble here. To go for the toss back, the Crush won't succeed, but they have enough damage. Bring you on pretty low. He will, however, use his Invis Rune, sneak away before the amp damage connects. And we've got a nice little flank here from 747. Should be a quick pick here on Buryu. Omni slashing him down and walking away proud. So that's the 4th kill for the Juggernaut. His KDA now 4-2-0. Outpacing that of the Anti-Mages, but still behind in net worth, thanks to the lane suppression this Lich has created. By always keeping the Creep Equilibrium back here, the Juggernaut just hasn't felt safe to farm, and whenever he comes up, Anti-Mage and Lich are just pummeling him back. I do have a nice little flank here. It's going to be 747 coming into the side, but DC knew about it with the ward, and despite the Frostbite, I think he's going to be okay here. He'll burn a little bit more HP, one blink forward, looking for the kill, but the Magic Stick might have baited him too far, and he just goes for the TV. No, the fake! Oh, that's beautiful. Does he have enough to survive Stand King? Yes! The Perseverance regen and the Poor Man's Shield allows him to survive through it all, and TC outplays them for a double kill, just dumpstering the Abyss of Suffering. That was just amazing. Had the ward, knew exactly what was coming. Does essentially what I would call a double fake. First, He goes in against him and looks like he's going to win the fight, but doesn't. Man's gonna disable him. Then once he gets disabled, pops the Mana Void, goes ahead and starts TPing away because the Juggernaut just healed himself up nicely. But because he doesn't have a healing ward, that's not a sufficient heal to actually save him from the Anti-Mage. The Juggernaut can only run. Once the Juggernaut starts running, the Anti-Mage is like, oh, I'm just TPing away, and Juggernaut thinks he can get a kill in that 3-second duration. Canceling the TP, he finds himself a kill, and in turn a double. Beautifully executed from TC. That was just, that's what you need to do as a skilled NA player, is just outplay your opponents, out-mind game them, know exactly what they're capable of, and just push them to the limit. So we see a massive advantage for the Anti-Mage now, over 6,000 net worth in the off lane, while his other cores are doing just fine and dandy as well. Very impressive. Derp is getting a lot closer to level 6 than I expected though. He's actually brought himself up to level 5, while all the other heroes are at 7 and above. This is still a lot better than I expected when I saw how long that he was sitting on his level 1.
Gold is a great conductor.
Another Omni Slash available. Aoi, a very vulnerable target, but he should be able to get this Ancient Seal off in time if he needs to. So it's going to be a spin into Omni Slash, and Aoi going to try to get that silence off first. Will get it just in time, and now can Mystic Flare him for nearly a solo kill. But it is going to be TC to clean it up. Actually, Aoi gets the last hit, he gets the experience, as Jugger kills the Skywrath before the death. Now toss back here onto Derp. Chain Frost will come out. Again, he just wants the kills to go out clean with no trade whatsoever. Down bottom, looks like Starladder wants to make a play happen. He does not have a Blink Dagger though, so we're gonna have this flanking TP. They're just gonna look for the tower deny. They don't have to dive on this, but if they get that combo, then that's gonna work out fine. It's gonna be Avalanche, then the Crush, then the Toss, nearly killing off Suan, but actually leaving both of them pretty low HP. One more reinforcement to deny the tower before the Razor can get his hands on it. No, they go for the Crush forward with that toss, and that's Will Easy. Gonna be dropping very low. The Magic Wand Tread Swap, not enough to keep him alive, and now Stan King in some real trouble. He will be tossed upon. Surge or not, he goes down. And here in mid lane, we do see 47 unable to find his Omni Slash on Buryu solo. Jeez. Just getting disastrous very, very quickly. Already 5-0 on the Anti-Mage. 4 deaths on this Juggernaut. Even if he gets 5 kills, 4 deaths is still really bad for the way he wanted to start this game. Let's still find Aoi here, just kinda trying to find a quick opportunity, but there's the silence, and there's the combo. Easy. Easy. Ancient Seal right now amplifies magical damage received by 40%, so of course the Avatos is probably the one thing that benefits from it the most. The Lich's damage is quite significant, but really you're looking for that big 2-hit combo from the Tiny, and that's another reason why this Blink Dagger rush is so good. I'm curious if he still goes for the drums though. I do once again think it's really good this game because Starladder, Anti-Mage, and Tiny all get a lot out of attack speed. Let alone movement speed.
Is under attack.
Yeah, I think he goes Blink drums. I think that's pretty solid. For now, he's got a Haste Rune, and that might just be a dead hero here. If anybody tries to contest him, he's got so much potential. He does go for the toss and then haste himself away. Anti-Mage is here, looking to maybe clean things up. Can they get one more TP up top is the question. Derp hanging around here, doesn't have an ultimate to stop a TP. Now he does, but in the meantime, the tier 1 tower falls to the Razor. Oh, Tiny coming in, going for the combo, but Sion heals up Will Easy. They're gonna actually be able to punish the Tiny here. Magic Wand will not save him, and Chain Frost will actually bounce. That's a kill on the Razor, but now can Buryu get out in turn? It's broken, Bulba coming in, he's trying to bait them together, but they're only gonna get the 1-man crush, and I'm not sure there's gonna be enough unless TC comes in. Right clicks required before they drop down that Mana Void. Now Buryu in some trouble here, just spinning on him, he'll get the kill, and even look to maybe pursue onto Bulba. That's ill-advised though. As now TC has the flank, and they can just get the rush, burn some mana. And now as long as only TC tanks the Omni Slash, Bulba keeping his distance, they're going to be fine. But no, Bulba is the one to take the Omni Slash still. 747 can't finish him off. So close, but so far. 30 HP left on Bulba as he'll jump himself away. Wow, that was actually just insanely close, but a lot of things favoring DC here. 17-7. Net worth and experience gonna continue to push in their favor. And they're just getting started, guys. These guys can actually not only fight, they can rat hard. We're just going to see a toss under tower, but the creep wave is taking one of the auto attacks. Will Easy needs a few more hits to nuke him down. Crystal Maiden dropping a great freezing field with a vacuum back, and despite the toss, they're actually going to kill them all. Oh my gosh. That Crystal Maiden ultimate did so much work inside the back wall as well. Let's just look at that damage. 1,800 damage, 16 minutes in. That's the power of a Crystal Moon. If you get a little bit of luck, then you get the perfect setup where every single disable is already on cooldown. The Avalanche and the Silence are on cooldown, and I believe the toss was used for damage rather than the stun. Bulba has a nice little opportunity to jump on Derp here, but with the mechanism nearby, they're gonna have to fight for it. No, the mechanism's not off cooldown yet, and they'll swing him down real quick. Now, Aoi has gone for the mechanism here, but I feel like he's not actually going to be able to use it very often until he gets the Guardian Greaves, where it becomes mana free. In fact, mana provisionary. Probably gotta have to decide between using a few of his spells and that mechanism, just because of how mana hungry Skywrath Mage really is. Bulba gonna be able to amp up Roshan, but they're not sticking around here. They're looking for a kill at the same time they do Roshan. This is the best way to cover it so that you can guarantee it. And with the Vladimir's offering, Anti-Mage can do that no problem. The Observer Ward has an eye on 747. Now we're looking for the Blink Crush. There was no supposed to be an Avalanche to knock him out the box. That was really nicely done. They just have such good reach. And of course, they have great vision now that they've dropped this ward in the Radiant Jungle and had this one all along. Along with this mid ward, they're just suppressing Root to the point that if they farm anywhere by themselves, you're going to have 2 or 3 heroes jumping right on top of you. One of them blinking naturally, 2 of them blinking with daggers, now recklessly with the Aegis the Immortal in tow. It's a scary place to be if you're one of the Root, but right now we're just going to keep an eye on tier 1 tower mid, where Crystal Maiden might need to pull out some more
Radiant structures
ice
are
magic.
fortified.
Really just needs to make that work.
Radiant's middle tower
Chain
is
Frost
under
mini
attack.
stuns. Every hero has a disable in that capacity, and
Radiant's middle
just so
tower
hard to get that ability off. Now we're just going to see him jumped on. Mechanism and Surge not going to be enough to get CM out after the hard lockdown from the Slartiny. It's just they're so good at isolating targets, and they might want to go for more here. The Blink Crush is available, but 747 has that.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Interesting stuff here. We're going to see actually Yawar go for a full-on utility build here. He's all about initiating, getting in and out of the fights easily, and now with the Force Staff, he has less late game potential because he's going to have to sell that item. But if he can make some plays with it now, then they might not have to worry about a late game. They could honestly win the game within the next 5 minutes if they play their cards right, and Root know this. They know the danger, so they're going to try to make up for it here and now. Smoking forward, they're going to break the smoke under this ward, it looks like. Will's Bulba's watching eye. So this is going to be very dangerous. The smoke breaks. Aoi, can he get the silence? Yes, he does. Juggernaut locked down, but he's actually so fast he might dodge out most of their spells. Still, he will fall along with the Darkseer, and that freezing field is pretty far off to do enough damage. Will Easy has right clicks coming in, but it looks like he can't finish anybody off, and in the meantime TC dives forward and kills off that Crystal Maiden. One more hit will Easy going down for a full 5-man wipe and a GG well played. 12,000 net worth favoring Digital Chaos, 14,000 experience, and a less than 20-minute game. Just a very impressive showing, knowing how they can find their timings and collaborate for kills. Move together, they strike together swiftly before there's any response from Root, and despite a very wise build in the Darkseer, rushing the mech, they're just not able to actually find that 5-on-5 fight. Everything was so scattered. Everything just came down to pickoffs and pickoffs and pickoffs, which came down to the ward.